This channel is not just about stories, it's about hidden codes. Codes that are behind the reality you live in. And perhaps, without realizing it, you have been trying to decipher them for years. Here, each case is a key, a clue, a mirror of what you may also be experiencing. Today, what you are about to hear seems impossible, but when you understand the universal laws, the impossible becomes just misunderstood. Have you ever felt like you're tired all the time, but it's not just your body being tired? Is it like there's a weight on your shoulders that won't go away even after you sleep? Like you're always running, always doing, always trying to prove something, and yet it never seems like it's enough? This is the story of Olivia Johnson, 34 years old, marketing executive at a large company in Chicago, brilliant professional, admired by all. The woman who always got things done, the one who never said no, the one who delivered reports, resolved crises, held meetings while answering emails on her cell phone, stuck in traffic. From the outside, everything was perfect. A solid career, an apartment with a view, impeccable clothes, exemplary productivity. But inside, there was emptiness. Olivia lived with her alarm clock on the 7th snooze, her eyes burning from not sleeping so much. Coffee in a hurry, jumping on her feet and spreadsheets on her mind. The days were all the same, fast-paced, tangled up in a single thought: I need to handle it. But the body began to fail. First, it was insomnia. Then, tachycardia out of nowhere. A pain in her chest that made her go to the hospital, thinking it was a heart attack. But the tests were normal. Everything was normal. It was the invisible world beginning to scream, and yet she continued. She was still afraid of losing her job, afraid of disappointing others, afraid of facing the silence that came when she stopped. Because stopping meant listening, and listening meant facing everything she had been pushing down for years, until one day, after a tense meeting, a misinterpreted email, and yet another anxiety attack while suffocating in the company bathroom, she didn't come back to her desk. Not because I couldn't, but because I couldn't go on living like that anymore. Have you ever felt that way? That feeling that the world expects you to be strong, when all you want to do is stop and breathe. Have you ever found yourself crying in secret, only to later wipe your face and come back with a mechanical smile? If this story is touching something inside you, write in the comments. I've been there. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what happened to Olivia when she stopped will change the way you understand your fatigue. And if you know someone who is on the edge, share this now. This video is not just a warning. It's a map, and the answer your soul has been waiting for so long. Olivia didn't return to the table. She stood there on the cold floor of the company bathroom, her pale face pressed against the wall, her entire body shaking as if something inside her was silently falling apart. Her breathing was shallow, her heart was racing, her hands were numb, her vision was blurred. She thought she was going to die, and for a moment she wished it were true, because living like that was no longer life. That afternoon, Olivia was rushed to the hospital. Her colleagues thought she had a heart attack. She could barely speak. She could barely keep her eyes open. But the tests once again said nothing. No physical problems detected, no clear explanation. And yet, inside, everything inside her screamed. The doctor looked at her calmly and said, "You are collapsing. Your body is shutting down because your mind and soul are at their limit." It was more than burnout. It was the end of a forced existence, of an identity shaped by invisible pressures. That night in her hospital bed with the IV dripping down her arm, Olivia looked up at the white ceiling and thought, how did I let it get this far? But she knew. She knew that all of this was the result of years of trying to be what was expected. Years of keeping quiet about what she really felt. Years of smiling so as not to scare anyone. Years of serving the world and completely forgetting about herself. She was discharged 2 days later, still weak, still soul depleted. She came home and looked at herself in the mirror. She looked different. There was something in her eyes. It wasn't sadness, it was emptiness. A kind of absence that hurts more than any physical pain. Olivia took off her shoes, her blazer, turned off all the notifications on her phone, and sat on the living room floor. She sat there for hours. She didn't want to eat. She didn't want to talk. She just wanted to feel what she hadn't allowed herself to feel before. The next day, she went for a walk without any direction. She needed air. She needed anything that reminded her of life. That was when she entered, almost as if pulled by an invisible force, a small cafe in the city center. She sat down by the window, huddled together. Her hands were still shaking, her chest tight. And then, an unknown man approached. He didn't ask anything. He just looked into her eyes tenderly and said, "Are you ready to listen to your soul?" It was as if time froze. That sentence cut through Olivia like a soft blade. She didn't respond. She just felt the tears flow. He left a folded note on the table and left without another word. On paper, a single sentence: "You are not broken. You are awakening." That night, Olivia didn't sleep, but it was no longer the insomnia of anguish. It was something else, a new silence, as if the chaos had given way to something unknown and profoundly true. And it was in that space of darkness, between fear and surrender, that reality began to bend. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because maybe you are listening to this story and in silence, recognizing parts of yourself that you never had the courage to face. Maybe you're also trying to hold the world in your hands, to keep everything under control, to prove that you can do it, that you can handle it, that you are strong. But deep down, you have already realized that this control has a price. A high price, invisible and cruel. It's as if life is throwing you into a silent loop. You wake up, run, give in, exhaust yourself, and when you think you're going to achieve peace, more pressure, more expectations, more self-demands come. And ironically, the more you try to handle everything, the more you feel like you're losing yourself. As if your soul is being left behind while you try to survive on autopilot. And then comes the worst feeling of all, silent frustration. That feeling that you're doing everything right, but inside, nothing seems right. You try to meditate, take care of yourself, think positively, repeat mantras, listen to podcasts about conscious productivity, spirituality, purpose. But the truth is that there's something deeper that still pulls you back into chaos. An internal noise that you can't silence. This is the hardest part of the journey, when your body keeps going but your soul screams, when you smile in photos but feel alone even when surrounded by people, when you say it's okay, but you can't even remember what it's like to truly feel that way. And maybe, without realizing it, you're also resisting the only thing that can truly transform you: stopping. Don't stop fighting for your dreams, but stop fighting against yourself. Because there is a huge difference between effort and tension, between dedication and desperation. And when you live trying to please, to live up to maintain an image, you distance yourself from your truth. And that's when your energy gets stuck, your mind gets stuck, life gets stuck. The saddest thing is that no one talks about this. This is the behind-the-scenes reality that many people live, but few admit it. Because in this world where everything needs to seem beautiful, strong, and well-resolved, admitting that you are not well has become weakness. But in reality, this is the beginning of the most real strength that exists. The strength that is born when you decide to listen to yourself. And maybe, just like Olivia, you're also sick inside, even if no one can see it. Maybe you're also waiting for the universe to give you a break, a sign, a chance to breathe in peace. What if this video is that sign? What if this moment right here is the invitation you needed to finally acknowledge what you've been trying to ignore for so long? Because it's not just about exhaustion. It's about a way of living that distances us from our essence, that pushes us out of our bodies, out of truth, out of the present. And the price of this is not just tiredness. It's disconnection from everything that makes life worth living. We were trained to seek solutions through force, through action, through conquest. But what if real transformation lies in the pause? What if peace is not the end of the road, but the gateway to everything you desire most? Maybe you've tried everything, but if nothing has worked, maybe it's time to try something completely different. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because what seems simple, like stopping, breathing, letting go, is actually the most powerful and spiritual gesture anyone can make. Olivia didn't know it, but when she said, "I can't take it anymore," When she finally let go of the control, she activated something invisible but extremely real. A silent, subtle but immensely magnetic vibrational field. This is what we call here law of serene power, one of the most mysterious and transformative manifestations of the universal laws. While the world out there tells you that you need to run more, do more, prove more, this law responds when you do less but feel more, when you stop acting out of fear and start vibrating out of presence. The law of still power does not operate in noise. It moves in the space between one thought and another. It does not obey goals, deadlines, or agendas. It manifests when you move from your mind to your heart, when you let go of the need to appear strong and decide to be real. And that's where one of the most ignored principles of manifestation comes in, law of vibration. Because it's not what you say you want that attracts your reality. It's what you vibrate when you're not saying anything. It's your base frequency, the one that controls everything even when you think you're standing still. As Olivia ran, pushed, overwhelmed herself, she vibrated scarcity, fear, urgency. Even though she wanted peace, she manifested chaos. Even though she wanted freedom, she attracted oppression, because her real frequency was not what she wanted. It was what she believed deep down, and She Gives Mentalism completes this understanding. It reveals to us that reality is not something external. It is an extension of the mind, and the mind does not just create thoughts, it imprints forms. Situations, people, repetitions, it all starts from what you carry inside. An anxious mind creates a disordered life. A mind that tries to control everything lives surrounded by instability, because the universe does not respond to control. It responds to coherence. And when Olivia surrendered, when she stopped trying to solve everything by force, she changed her mindset. And with that, the frequency changed. It's as if in that moment when she sat on the living room floor and just cried silently, the universe heard her vibrational truth for the first time. Not the image she held, but the real request of her soul. I don't want to survive anymore. I want to live with meaning. And it was there that her vibration came into alignment with what she said she wanted, but which she had previously been unable to sustain energetically. Because wanting something is easy. Being in tune with it requires inner transformation. This is the hidden truth behind so many frustrations on the spiritual path. Most people believe that manifesting is about wanting something badly enough, but it is not. Manifesting is about allowing, and you only allow when you stop resisting your essence. Olivia didn't express the new opportunity because she ran after it. She expressed it because for the first time stopped running from herself, and in that moment, reality set in. Because when peace becomes your foundation, manifestation becomes inevitable. The universe is not impressed by your haste. No matter how hard you try, how much you try to prove yourself worthy, how much you sacrifice to achieve something, if your vibration is out of alignment with what you want, everything around you starts to fall apart, even if on the outside it seems like you are on the right path. And that is what Olivia finally understood, but not with words, nor with books or techniques. She understood it with her body, with her soul, with every cell that screamed for rest as she forced life to follow a path that was no longer hers. After that collapse, everything changed. But not in the way people usually imagine. It wasn't a sudden cinematic change, as if an angel had descended from heaven and lit the way. No, it was subtle, almost imperceptible, and precisely because of that, it was real. In the days that followed, Olivia didn't get much response. There was silence, and at first that silence was uncomfortable, as if the emptiness she had always feared finally had room to breathe. But over time she began to notice a difference. Her mind no longer screamed so much. Her chest, which had been tight before, now seemed to have some space. She walked more slowly. She slept with less guilt. She stopped checking her phone as if her life were inside it. She began to do simple things, walking outside without headphones, cooking for herself, writing down random sentences in an old notebook. Small gestures, but they had a completely new energy, and it was in this new rhythm, in this new internal state, that the unexpected began to appear. Opportunities that were not on her radar. People who entered her life effortlessly. Situations that seemed perfectly aligned with what she always wanted, but could never access when she was trying too hard. The paradox revealed itself clearly. Everything she tried to achieve with struggle arrived when she stopped fighting. And this is where the most powerful spiritual plot twist of this story lies. Because Olivia spent years thinking she needed to run to achieve the life of her dreams, but the universe only began to respond when she slowed down, when she became internally what she wanted to live externally. It wasn't strategy, planning, or willpower that unlocked the flow. It was the vibrational state, the energy of someone who had finally put themselves first, not out of ego, but out of consciousness. And it was in this space of emotional clarity that she realized what she called failure was just redirection. What she called collapse was actually realignment. Life wasn't denying her desires. It was protecting what wasn't yet ready to blossom. Because there is a greater intelligence at work behind every delay, every fall, every silence. A force that doesn't reward blind effort, but that deeply honors those who have the courage to come back to themselves. And maybe that's the secret that no one has told you. Peace, the kind that comes from deep within the soul, is the most magnetic state that exists. Not because it brings everything to you, but because when you enter it, you realize that you no longer need to chase anything. You just need to allow what is yours to find you. If at any point in this story you felt like you were listening to your own soul, comment below with the word, "I allow," because recognizing this internal movement is already part of your transformation process. Leave your like right now if this awakened something within you. And if this journey made sense, subscribe to the channel to continue accessing content that goes beyond logic and speaks directly to what is alive inside you. There is a new way to live, and it starts when you choose to let go of control and enter the flow. If you want to continue discovering the secrets of the universal laws and understand how they really shape your life every day, click on the video that is appearing on your screen now. It could be the next key that your soul is ready to receive.